So this weekend I was, kind of recovering. Well, I didn't get back from Texas until Sunday morning, and then I was hungover all fucking day. So I did not pull cards for myself this weekend. It was its own. That was its own deal. This weekend was its own thing. I was definitely like, I brought my cards in case I really needed some clarity, but I was like, I felt preoccupied enough, and like there was enough shit to keep getting done, and there was enough like, ooh, you can actually have some down and relaxed time. That's nice. Like, okay, cool. There's enough of that to kind of keep me anchored like the whole weekend and stuff. So, I'm okay that I didn't pull cards. That's the whole thing about like your own personal practice. I think it's like, have hard and fast rules, but at the same time, like, be loose with yourself and be chill. Like, I don't take it personally if I cannot get my cards pulled over a weekend. Like, I'm not gonna die without tarot. Neither are you. So, that's an important thing. Tarot's never an emergency. It's something to help us gain clarity, and a deeper understanding of where we're at any given time. So that's important to remember. So yesterday, I was just really feeling a kind of way about a situation in my life, feeling a kind of way about things I'm experiencing, things I'm being like presented with, choices I have to make. Feeling very conflicted because I know exactly the choice that I need to make. I know what's in honor of like where I'm going, and I also know like what a little bit of saying yes to life looks like, and they're in conflict with one another. And so, we're going to run up into times like this where we don't really know what to do, and we're not really like sure, like, am I meant to be open to this experience, and am I like, are these emotions and feelings coming up just so that, I go through them and feel them, or, is this something to not be tricked or fooled by? Is this something to like really kind of claim control over? Or is it something to kind of just like let go of? And I pulled the King of Pentacles for myself. And dude, again, like pulling court cards for yourself can be so like, well, what aspect of this being am I interacting with here? Like, is this me? Am I supposed to be this? And is this a way to deal with things? Is this a person I'm interacting with? Like, what is the energy here? It can be really convoluted. It can be loaded to interpret court cards for yourself. Just be aware. Like, you're gonna have, like, you're already somebody who's like asking a question, and because court cards are not easy, it's almost as if like what the universe is saying by virtue of it being a little like clouded still is like, it's really up in the air, like what this means for you, what the implications are here. It really has to do with how you move through the situation at every turn, I feel. And okay, so this king, when I see him, the first thing that comes to mind is a tagline that I kind of, and this is a way that I interact with cards. I like, I've had my own, deep experiences. I learn all about esoteric stuff, like, and I have my own symbolic like reference to pull from, but it's also like about, what could be like the seed, the thing that first comes through with that card. And for me, for the King of Pentacles, it's always been, when I come up, everyone comes up. It's my material success, wealth, abundance. This directly affects, everyone around me. It spills over. There's bulls here on his throne. It also appears like this is some sort of I've been doing some research about this because like I literally just honed in on it yesterday. I was like, what the fuck is his little foot on? And this is like the only king you can see that has like a little bit of armor poking out of his garment, which indicates something. He is very like seated, comfortable. You know, the bulls bring out that he's a Taurus king. You know, it's all about the senses. That Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it's very lavish, lush, abundant. It's about love, it's about sex, it's about fertility, it's about, you know, being able to create and make things. And the fact that he has like, you know, this underfoot, to me it's like an indicator of like his triumph over stubbornness, his triumph over thinking like it has to be one way, his triumph over like limited ways of looking at things, because that's how I see Taurus, honestly. Taurus is just like, they're fixed as fuck, earth sign, like grounded, rooted, primary earth energy, you know, solid, stuck in the material, stuck in the gross, stuck in, you know, what we can see, stuck in what we can feel, stuck in what we can taste, touch, experience, you know. And while we have to be like grounded in this kind of like, you know, sense of earthy self, I would say, you know, this card is really, I think, calling into question the idea of how you go about like mastering matter around you. You know, the pentacles are like the earth symbol too. So this is, you know, fucking Taurus earth king, so double earth as fuck, which, funny enough, earth is a feminine element. And so, you know, there brings up this idea of receptiveness, being open to receiving. The background of this card is yellow, which is a symbol for consciousness and awareness. And I think like my awareness is being invited to meditate on, you know, this kind of example, this archetype. Maybe there's some understandings, you know, if I were to just spend a little more time with this king, maybe ways he would operate will kind of make themselves like known to me, like will reveal themselves to me in terms of like being just, this is so real. Okay, so like the bull, the like Taurus is stubborn, wants to have things their own way, is like really stuck in their ways. Like that's a whole thing. Since we're in Aries season, we got to be talking about first house stuff. So like identity, you know, it's like they are really just committed to making life happen on their terms and according to their standards and all of that. There is a sense of like allowing that to be here, allowing yourself to have high standards and allowing yourself to honor them, because if we don't honor high standards, you know, we can't create vortexes that give us high standard experiences. There's only one way to go about it, and it's about like starting to look for it, starting to treat yourself like that, starting to, you know, cultivate the energy to be in support of that. However, there's a sense of needing to be really open, extra receiving. Don't assume you know things. That's the thing about the king. He doesn't assume he has all the information. He doesn't assume he's the creator of all this wealth. In fact, I feel like the kings in their highest vibration, they are open to listening to all the court members. They're open to recognizing that everybody else has like some skills that are valuable, and we can tune into them and we can get good information from that. So this king is kind of like bringing a conscious awareness of the fact that, you know, wisdom for a king a lot of times looks like being still, looks like being quiet, looks like listening to people, looks like being patient, looks like like not acting like you know, not pretending, not assuming, etc. It's about just like the way he looks at that coin, you know, to me is just like, and that's another thing with all of the court members in the Pentacles is like, they're just looking at the coin like they're not surprised by its appearance. They expect it to be there. They're just like, you know, like, it's like, of course you're here. And I think that elicits like this understanding that each one of them possess, which is that like, yes, I've already gone through like all these other energies, because the coins, the pentacles come at the end of that kind of operation, order of operation in terms of manifestation when it comes to the suits. It starts with swords, then we build to like cups, and then we go to physical energy and action with the wands, and then you get a physical manifestation or the pentacles. So once we're here, these people, they've understood like and the energetics of getting what they want. You know, they represent that high vibrational understanding of what is required, the action, the energy, the attitudes that are required to get the result that you actually want. So it's like, while he doesn't have to go about like stubborn, stuck in his way methods of getting what he wants, he knows that like by just being open and patient and not assuming that he knows, that in due time, all the wealth and all the abundance and all the material success that he has been set on, focused on, been working towards, it's all coming to him. It will all come to fruition. He need not worry. He need not stress. He need not be, you know, poised to go somewhere. You know, he's just straight chilling. He's straight chilling and enjoying the lusciousness of his garden. He's enjoying the fact that, you know, he is not subject to his nature, which is a beautiful thing. You know, about earth signs too, is like they can be so mutable, because earth really can form to whatever needs, you know, are requiring being met at any given time. It takes time, you know, and there's definitely some shit in the way, but embodying this sort of like just energy, I think it's just like the way to approach life. So it's kind of like the King Solomon vibration. It's like the wise king position to sit in as you're dealing with stuff coming up, where it's your challenge to either honor your true will and stay so fucking rigid and focused and projecting of the self forward, or whether you're willing to like open up and allow, you know, that to be an operation that you're focusing on, while you can still say yes to the universe. And I think this king, while it's not telling me how, and it's not showing me, you know, really, I'm not getting much practical information here, but it is an understanding of like what perspective is going to ease my suffering in this situation where I'm conflicted. You know, to sit into this kingly space where it's like, you know what? I trust that what I need to know in terms of like making a decision, making a choice, going a direction, I trust that like when the moment the stimulus is here, like I'm going to make that choice. I'm going to do the thing. Versus like, do I need to make something happen? Do I need to make sure that I'm not wasting any time? Do I need to cut this off? Do I need to finish that? Do I need to like, well, do I need to buy in? Do I need to just like, you know, no, like you don't need to be anything. You don't need to like change. You just need to allow and wait and be patient and understand that like openness and receptiveness. God, I just always think of like Bill Murray. Like, he is like yes anding his entire life. Like it's a concept in improv where you say yes and to whatever comes up. So it's a way of like saying yes to it's a method of like Taoist like acceptance of what is and moving with what you can do creatively as a response to that. And yeah, I'm getting some major Bill Murray King vibes from this card, and it's just like, dude, you know, yes, your will is important. Yes, like you getting your shit done is important. And yes, maybe 80% of your time, you should follow those structures you're setting up, follow your schedule, do you 100% boo-boo. But when you're interacting with novelty in life, when you're being presented with new opportunities, it's like, don't assume that because something looks like something, that it's all the same things. You should pay attention to red flags, of course. I'm not saying not to. But again, to not assume that you know what something means is a really powerful position to be, I think, open to what life could teach you. You know, because if you assume, well, I know this is this, and this is that, and this is that person not meeting themselves, and da 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 da, like all those stories that, you know, we think we are right in assuming about others, and we can tell accurately, which, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe you could glance upon, you know, somebody and read them for filth without knowing them. But I don't think it's ever safe to assume that. I don't think it's ever safe to be operating like that. So I guess recognizing, okay, there's an embodiment principle here of how lush and abundant this universe is. And also, like, because there's been some stuff in whatever decision I'm trying to make, or what, there's not even a decision here. There's just like, you know, it's kind of like, what are you allowing into your experience and your awareness, kind of a thing. There's a sense of, you know, what do I do, kind of a thing, to let things continue on is to not face them. But I guess I'm really feeling like the universe is just so abundant in opportunities that if I mess up and if I choose something that's like not for me, or if I fuck around and get my feels hurt and waste some time, or if I whatever, you know, it's like, yes, if you saw what was possible for you, if you avoided every fucking pit stop, sure, maybe it would look a little like more streamlined, your experience to the top. But where is the wisdom? The wisdom's in all of the pitfalls. The wisdom's in all of the getting yourself out of shit. The wisdom is in other people's vortexes that you experience and like have to fight to get yourself out of. So while I never want to be like, you know, experience is the only teacher, don't listen to people. Like you could definitely save yourself a lot of time and heartache if you are willing to listen to people. But God, my fuck ass just wants so much experiential knowledge. Like my folks always were upset that that's who I was. Like from the get-go, they did not like that I needed to learn things on my own, that I wanted to experience stuff. I wanted to interface with the world around me. But that is who I am. That is what I'm about. And even if I could be like, well, this has just got no positive potential and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I could be right in my ability, powers of analysis, ability to project things forward, ability to see like someone who, you know, isn't on my level or anything like that. There's so much stuff that I could see and I could convince myself that I know what's right. But again, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm the fucking Page of Swords. Y'all, that is like really settled into my life as a thing I should be constantly paying attention to, which is like how to have a beginner's mind, how to be ultimately open while being able to pursue and stand up for your values at the same time. Like you can do both. And it's my job to learn how to balance both. And hopefully meditating on this king over the next few days is going to help me to do that. So I just wanted to have a little share since I didn't do my weekend video. There's going to be a lot more different kinds of content. So please bear with all of the kind of unpredictability that might be going on over the next month or so. But I think it'll all be worth it for everybody who like chills and hangs out for a bit. So thank you again for watching. I hope you gained a little something from this version of my tarot personal practice. Have a great week.